In this video, I'm going to do a complete multi-time frame analysis of all the hottest currency pairs that you will be looking to trade next week. The list is not that much longer, but I'll suggest you to watch all of them. As you can see in our previous weekly Forex forecast, we have seen that most of the pairs did exactly according to the analysis. Now, before I go to the in-depth analysis for this week, this is the last week of the month, very important week. Let's quickly look at our DXY analysis that we made in our previous weekly Forex forecast. With this imbalance, what we could see as it is a fair value gap on DXY, expecting for this price to go up and then grab some liquidity to drop back down again. Okay, so this is the 4-hour chart, and as you can see that we expected DXY to bounce back up to grab liquidity and then to drop down to create a new lower low. Now we can see that the price almost followed the same pattern as we expected in our previous weekly Forex forecast. Smash the like button now and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't done yet. In the meantime, traders, if you want to take your trading to the next level and also learn and grow as a trader with me, you can find a link below this video in the description. Join the free Telegram channel where you can find more information how you can get access to all my strategies, trading tool, as well as premium content that will change your trading completely. So with that said, let's begin this week's weekly Forex forecast. Okay, today, so let's begin first of all starting with DXY. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in DXY, starting with the monthly chart to see overall picture in the market. Now from the monthly, we can see that DXY so far in the first 20 days of the month, we have seen significant bearish price action. Now as this market is currently falling market, we can still expect further downside after initial pullback. This is the monthly candle, expecting DXY to bounce back up to retest this previous support, turning resistance, and from that zone we can expect DXY to drop down to create a new lower low. Now if we look at the weekly chart to see how the market is doing, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is also a long-term bearish market. We can see that with this weekly bearish engulfer followed by another bearish candle, and followed by this week we saw that after this drop, initial pullback to the upside. Now if we take our Fibonacci for this move, we can see that from the starting of the move to the end of the move, the price is approaching 38.2% Fibonacci level, which is the minimum Fibonacci level. Now with that minimum Fibonacci level, what we can expect on DXY for the price to retest, reach that 38.2% and then to drop down to create a new lower low. Now looking at the daily chart to see how the market is doing, we can see that from the daily perspective, this is the daily bearish engulfer followed by daily pullback. Now a drop, pullback, another drop, pullback. Now we saw the last 2 days of the trading week, the market has gone up for deeper pullback, and this is the current liquidity zone, the area of value where we can see there is a daily 20 EMA previous support which is turning resistance here, also aligning with the 38.2% weekly Fibonacci level. What I think that this week we might see that initial upside on DXY. Now if we look at the news calendar, we can see on Wednesday coming up high impact news on Euro, GBP, CAD and USD CAD. Now with that said, what I think that in the first 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, we might see initial bounce which could lead DXY to complete this 38.2% Fibonacci level. Support is turning resistance, and from that zone we can expect DXY to drop down to create a new lower low. Now from the 4-hour perspective, where we can see that DXY from this intraday time frame, this is the resistance level, which is also this previous resistance, also high liquidity zone. If we draw this level here, which is the resistance zone on DXY, what we can expect on DXY for the price to bounce back up, grab the liquidity, and then to drop down to create a new lower low. So this is what I think that this week we might see that DXY is forming potential pattern. This shape could be the DXY wave coming up in the upcoming week. So with that said, based on this DXY wave, we will be looking for trading opportunity with other instruments, AUD, USD. Let's see a higher time frame, looking at the monthly chart on AUD, USD. Now from the monthly perspective on AUD, USD, we can see that so far this is the monthly impulse, followed by the price is almost at the support level on the monthly chart. And what we can expect on AUD USD for the price to, what I think that as we are expecting a wave on DXY to go up and to drop, what we can expect on AUD USD, a mirror of that DXY. So with that in mind, what we can expect on AUD USD for the price to drop down, grab liquidity, and then to bounce back up to create new higher high. Now looking at the weekly chart on AUD USD, what we can see from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly impulse on AUD USD, followed by this week we have seen that there is a significant drop in this market. This is the weekly candle, which is a strong bearish engulfer. Now with that bearish engulfer, what we can expect on AUD USD for the price to drop down further to create a new lower low before bouncing back to the upside on AUD USD. So let's see on the daily chart on AUD USD. Now from the daily, we can see that there is a potential head and shoulder formation. Now back to back quite a few days, we have seen that drop on AUD USD. What I think that we might see this price is remaining bearish on AUD USD, as we see the price is already has formed a head and shoulder. We can expect a potential doji or a green candle before the price to drop down again to create a new lower low. Now from the intraday time frame, from the 4-hour perspective, we can see that AUD USD currently showing also a head and shoulder in that area. Now this head and shoulder is quite significant, as we can see the market from the 4-hour perspective already has broken that head and shoulder, expecting on AUD USD to retest and then to drop down again to create a new lower low. So this is where I will be waiting on AUD USD for a retest of this support and then to drop down to the downside for this potential move towards the downside on AUD USD. Now let's look at dollar CAD. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have on dollar CAD. Looking at the monthly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the monthly, so far after break of this monthly low, dollar CAD has got a bounce to the upside, and with that bounce, what we can expect on dollar CAD for the price to move back up before dropping down again. So initially we can expect further upside on dollar CAD, as we see that this is still a bullish candle. The market has grabbed enough liquidity from this support level. Now looking at the weekly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly channel here. This is a bull flag where we saw the market grab that liquidity, and then we have seen there is a strong bounce on dollar CAD. Now with that bounce, what we can expect on dollar CAD for the price to come down for a deeper pullback and then to move back up to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the daily time frame, there is a consolidation here, gap opening and a bounce to the upside, followed by a narrow pullback, and we see back-to-back 3 days of bullish move on dollar CAD. Now with this bullish move, what I think that we might see initial pullback again before bouncing back to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the 4-hour perspective to see how the market is evolving, we can see that from the 4-hour time frame on dollar CAD, so far we can see a big bounce followed by deeper pullback, and we can see another bounce, another pullback, another bounce, deeper pullback, and the market is forming series of higher high and higher low, which is a typical uptrending market structure on dollar CAD. Now this is a very significant level of resistance here, which we can expect a retest on dollar CAD, as we are expecting DXY to bounce and then to drop. We can expect on dollar CAD to bounce back up as with the DXY to grab liquidity and then to drop back down to create a new lower low. So this is where we will be waiting for potential entry opportunity on dollar CAD as soon as we will find that. Okay, so let's look at euro dollar. Now, if we look at the calendar, we can see that there is a euro news coming on Wednesday, quite a few high impact news. Definitely that will increase the probability on euro dollar. So looking at euro dollar, starting with again monthly chart to see overall picture in the market. Now from the monthly, we can see that euro dollar is bull market, starting with this monthly support level. This is the monthly support on euro dollar, creating series of higher low, and with that monthly support the market has made a move to the upside to create a new higher high. So this is the monthly candle, expecting euro dollar to bounce back to the upside. Now this is the previous resistance, which is turning support here on euro dollar. We will be looking to see initial pullback and then to bounce back up. Now looking at the weekly chart to see how the market is doing, we can see that from the weekly there is a gap opening here. That gap is quite significant. We saw that the market has made a bounce to the upside on euro dollar. There is a doji on the weekly time frame, and this weekly doji is quite significant. As you can see, back to back 3 weeks of bullish move, followed by the market has dropped down, and we can expect now further deeper pullback, as we see that the bulls is still stronger than the bear on euro dollar. Now what I think that this week we might see further down break of this low can give high probability for euro dollar to bounce back up, as we are expecting on DXY to form it, which is exactly matching with the euro dollar for a mirror pattern. Now let's look at the daily chart to see how the price is doing. Now from the daily, we can see that there is a previous liquidity candle. This is a very significant liquidity candle, guys. We can see there is a pin bar here, and that pin bar is absolutely important. Now if you look at here, what we can see, this is a support level on this daily price action. There is a daily 20 EMA, which is the previous resistance turning support here, where there is a daily 20 EMA, also a very high liquidity zone. As the price moves from liquidity to liquidity, what we can expect on euro dollar for the lower on the lower time frame to drop down and then to bounce back up. Now looking at the 4-hour perspective, from intraday perspective on euro dollar, what we can see that there is a consolidation pattern here, and we have seen a strong bounce followed by consolidation, expecting on euro dollar to drop down to go up for a pullback and then to break below to create a new lower low. So this is what I think that this week I will be waiting for initial liquidity candle formation among this area, and then to drop down to this support level before it is bouncing back to the upside. So this is where what I think that euro dollar this week might give us initially selling opportunity and then the buying opportunity on euro dollar. Now let's look at GBPUSD. Now we can see that euro dollar and GBPUSD almost moving in the same direction. Starting with the monthly chart on GBPUSD, what we can see that from the monthly, this is an inverted head and shoulder. On the monthly, from bigger picture perspective, we can see that British pound US dollar is bullish. This is the monthly candle which has a healthy body, and also there is a long wick at the top, expecting GBPUSD to bounce back up to create a new higher high. Now looking at the weekly chart on British pound US dollar, we can see that back to back 1, 2, and 3 weeks. On the fourth week, we saw there is a rejection on British pound US dollar, and what we can expect on GBPUSD for the price to break below, grab liquidity, and then to bounce back up, as we are expecting on euro dollar initial drop and then to bounce back up as mirror of DXY. What we can expect on GBPUSD to follow the same pattern. If we take our Fibonacci from low to the high on British pound US dollar, we can see the price is approaching this 38.2% Fibonacci level. Now with this Fibonacci level, what we can expect on British pound US dollar for the price to break below, grab liquidity, and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on British pound US dollar, what we can see that from the daily time frame, there is a daily bearish engulfer followed by another bearish candle on British pound US dollar. As you can see, this is a very important level where the price expecting for GBPUSD to drop down to this liquidity zone and then to bounce back up. As the price in a very important liquidity zone, we will be waiting for British pound US dollar to drop further before it bounce back to the upside. Now from the intraday time frame, we can see a break of structure from this uptrending market started to drop to the downside to the downtrending market on British pound US dollar. So with that in mind, what I think that British pound US dollar, we might see initial bounce, grab liquidity, breaking below, and then to continue towards its long-term uptrending direction. So now let's look at gold. Now, as you have seen, traders past week, gold was extremely volatile, and we will be looking for potential trading opportunity on gold, starting with the monthly chart to see overall picture in the market on gold. Now from the monthly, we can see that gold this is the monthly candle, which is in fact a bullish engulfer on the monthly chart on gold. Now overall picture on gold, we can see from here, this is a strong bullish impulse on the monthly on gold. And with this monthly candle, previous months we saw a narrow doji. This month we have seen a bounce to the upside with a long wick at the top. What I think that as it is still a very strongly bull market, in the last week we might see initial drop and then to bounce back up, or we could see a strong drop almost to the monthly support level. That we'll look at the lower time frame to see how the price might be evolving. Now this is the weekly candle on gold, and we can see there is a very strong rejection. Now this weekly doji is quite significant. If we draw this resistance line on gold, we can see this is a weekly resistance where there is a liquidity candle formation, expecting gold to drop down further. And what I think that on gold is for the price to drop back below and then to bounce back up, as we have seen a very strong rejection, expecting further correction on gold. If we take our Fibonacci from this starting of this move to the end of the move on the weekly chart, we can see the price already has crossed this 38.2% Fibonacci level, and I think that this market might come for a deeper pullback to at least to 61.8%, which is the golden ratio. The reason what I think that is, as the market has, you can see it has crossed that all-time high, and also it crossed this resistance line to the upside, grabbed that good amount of liquidity, expecting gold to drop down further to this support level. Now looking at the daily chart, what we can see on gold from the daily, this is the daily impulse, and in this daily price action, this is an impulse on the daily followed by deeper correction. Now this deeper correction, what we can see here, it's a bullish engulfer. This is an NFP candle. With that NFP candle, what we can see for the price to this is where there is a high liquidity grab on this NFP candle, and we can see there is an impulse again and deeper correction with a daily doji formation. Now we see the price action is forming a very strong bullish impulse and followed by a complete breakup structure. Now this is a last day of trading week. We saw a big drop on gold, and what I think that the market might drop further to the support level to create a new higher high. So we could see still further downside, as it is a very currently strongly falling from this structure. What I think that we might see deeper correction in this market. Now it is also not unusual to see that the price even has broken this liquidity zone, as there is a fair value gap, and this is a smart money zone. We can see there is an order block here followed by the NFP candle, and there is a fair value gap. This is an imbalance in the market, and as the price moves from liquidity to liquidity, we could see that on gold for the price to drop back below this support level. Now from the 4-hour perspective on gold, we can see that from the intraday time frame there is a local bullish market structure forming series of higher high and higher low, which is an uptrending market. What I think that on gold is for the price, as you can see, this is a complete red move to the downside with a very strong bearish momentum, and this is where there is a support here, support here, support here, which is quite significant level of support on gold. What I think that in this market we could see a bounce and then to drop further to this liquidity zone. So what I think that this week, upcoming week, from all time frame, the price might still remain bearish, as it is a very strongly falling market. So for me, the best place that I will be looking to trade is break of this resistance level where there is a high liquidity. So this is where I will be waiting on gold for any kind of selling opportunity as soon as we see any trading opportunity on the lower time frame. In the meantime, traders, if you want to learn my strategy as well as trade gold and other instrument with me in Forex Trading Wizard Academy, you can find a link below this video where you can join the free Telegram channel to find more information how you can get access to all my personal trading strategy and also how to trade with me in Forex Trading Wizard Academy. So with that said, let's start with JPY pairs, starting with the GBP JPY. Looking at the monthly chart on GBP JPY, we can see that from the monthly on GJ, this is the monthly impulse, huge monthly bullish impulse, and we can see there is a doji formation on the monthly chart, and so far the market below the monthly resistance, expecting GBP JPY to retest the monthly support before bouncing back to the upside. Now looking at the weekly chart, we can see that so far weekly price action is bullish. We can see from here, this is an impulse followed by this correction and another impulse followed by deeper correction on GBP JPY. We will be waiting on GJ for the price to retest or even to create a new lower low before bouncing back to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on GBP JPY, what we can see that this is a very strong impulse followed by deeper correction, and we can see another impulse followed by, again we have seen another correction. So it's on the daily. Locally we see GBP JPY in a downtrend. We might see a retest of this daily resistance before dropping down further. Looking at the 4-hour perspective from intraday time frame on GJ, what we can expect on GBP JPY for the price, what I think that to go up to grab liquidity before dropping down. This is where you will be waiting on GBP JPY to give us suitable entry opportunity. As soon as we find suitable entry, we'll be looking for going short on GBP JPY with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at dollar yen. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have. Looking at the monthly chart. Now from the monthly, we can see that this month so far dollar yen showing significant bearish price action, as we saw that the price rejected from this monthly resistance. I think the dollar yen might drop further to the downside to break any of this low, as this is a long-term bull market. We can see there is significant rejection. We could see further correction on dollar yen. Looking at the weekly chart, what we can see that from the weekly chart on dollar yen, this is the weekly bearish engulfer followed by another bearish candle on the weekly chart. And what we can see that this is the weekly resistance line. There is a narrow body on the weekly on dollar yen. We will be waiting for the price to retest and then to drop down to create a new lower low. Now looking at the daily chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the daily time frame, the price showing significant bearish. There is a big drop followed by this correction, and we have seen another drop on dollar yen. What I think that with the market open, we can expect for this price to bounce back up and before dropping down again. Looking at further lower time frame from the 4-hour perspective, I will be waiting for dollar yen to break of this resistance, and with that break of resistance, any break of structure can give us suitable liquidity, and this is where we will be waiting for dollar yen to give us suitable entry opportunity. As soon as we will find suitable entry on dollar yen, we will be looking for going short with a high probability trade setup. I believe that you enjoyed this weekly forex forecast. If you enjoyed, make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Traders, I believe that you enjoyed this weekly forex forecast. If you enjoyed, make sure that you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and also join the free Telegram channel for more information how you can learn and grow as a trader with me in Forex Trading Wizard Academy. So with that said, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon in my next analysis.